Morning.
Morning.
All right, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of things, let us go through some of the things that we went last week. So based on last week class, Kelly, give me the two things that stood out to you from last week's class. What are two main things that we did?
Hello, class people. Miss Kama.
Morning, it seems that she got kicked off. Good morning.
Miss Kosa should get kicked off. You hear?
Maybe that's a miss. Scan on. Put the earphone there, earphone. Try look fit. Somebody see fit.
Hold on there. Tomorrow we are do the role play. Anyone have any idea?
Remember, meet near a record, so we can't talk about it here soon.
Okay, I'm not saying it. Stay away from Miss we come. Maybe, of course, we can talk about role play and this meeting. It still has something to do regarding to both of the courses that we're doing.
Miss Cole will be on in a few. She having a little technical difficulty.
Oh, hello?
Yes, miss.
Well, I'm really sorry about that. The thing just skipped me right out. And take me so long for load. For come back on. Alright.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry about that. So I was asking, so let us recap from the last class that we did. What are some concepts that we learned in the last class? Anyone?
Yes, miss.
Anyone can give me some things that we learned? Pick up from the last class.
Miss, we learn about the 5 P's.
The what?
The market mix. The
What
market mix, the 5 P's, miss.
what are the 5 P's?
Product, price, promotion, place, and people.
All right, can you explain two out of that? Can you explain two out of the market mix? Out of one of the P's?
Just remember it.
So, all right. While Kelly thinks about it, Carla or Carla Joe, whichever one. Anyone?
Okay, miss. Miss the production, miss. P. The first P production. The product.
Production? No,
Yes.
that's not one.
Product, miss, not production. Product.
All
Miss,
right.
the products are the goods or the service of the person or the company, miss. While the price is all it is cost. People
All
is the
right.
person.
So the market mix. What does that come under?
The market makes the combination, miss. No,
No.
the market itself, miss.
Market is our next one. Market and market mix is two different things. What are the concepts? All right, thank you. What are the concepts of entrepreneurship? What are the concepts of entrepreneur? So market is one, market mix is our next one. Give me some others. You know what this is meaning? That you guys not listening back to the recording.
Miss, the business environment.
Business environment. That's not one of the concepts.
Miss, me not get the part there. Miss, the contribution to the community. That is one of the concept, miss.
No, that's being an entrepreneur. That's entrepreneur, and that's one of the factors. That was one of the advantages of being an entrepreneur. It's two different things. You guys need to be reading, even going over the
Okay,
recording. You cannot
miss.
something there.
Sorry.
Yes.
Is it the market or the risk? Miss, the risk of the market.
The risk is a concept of entrepreneurship.
I
Yes.
have the market risk. I have the
Market
entrepreneur.
mix. Yes. Right. So those are
Yeah.
the concepts. Competition,
Yeah.
wage employment. These are the concepts, and we spoke about this in our last class. You guys have to always just go back to the recording. Let us go back to a few of the questions that we went through in the last class. What is the difference between entrepreneur and entrepreneurship? Who can answer that one? Who can answer that one? Difference between entrepreneurship and entrepreneur. Hello? Kelly? Stacy? Somebody? Difference between entrepreneur and entrepreneurship. Somebody who's an entrepreneur.
Oh, sorry, Miss. I was sorry. I was talking, but I really realized the mic was still muted. Miss, I was saying that the entrepreneur is the person
Mm-hmm.
who sees an opportunity and is willing to take a risk to make a profit, Miss, with their money.
All right. All right. What's the difference now for an entrepreneur? What is entrepreneurship? So that's an entrepreneur. So what's the difference between that now and entrepreneurship?
So the entrepreneurship, Miss, is it the person who owns and operate the business,
No, it's not the person.
or are they
Entrepreneur is not
the
the
person?
person, Entrepreneur is a person.
Yeah.
What is entrepreneurship?
So it'll be the action, Miss, of the person. So it's the practical of actually owning the business.
Ah, not really.
Miss, I'm just
It
trying
is.
because I never get to go back through the notes, Miss.
Anybody else want to try what is entrepreneurship?
Mimi, Stacy,
Go ahead, Stacy. Go ahead.
motiv- the motivating spirit that causes someone to establish goals and do everything to accomplish the goals again followed.
All right, good. So it's that innate thing that cause him now to want to start the business. Right, good. Let two. All right, we went through something there. What is environmental scanning? What is environmental scanning?
Miss
Remember that
environment
right, go ahead.
environment scanning is when you do a survey of the community that you want to start a business to ensure that you are not put it in a bad area or anything like that, or you don't want to put another business which already in the community.
All right. Thank you. Can anyone tell me now why is it important to have the environmental scanning? Why is it important?
It's important because it's about safety first, miss.
Miss, in order to know the type of area that you're building your business in, if it naturally, if it is prone to natural disasters, one, if it's a gang
Right?
community that will extort and rob your business, and also the type of people that you'll be serving. If they're going to come and trust out the business and them little stuff there, and you have to ensure
All
the
right.
safety of the business and the person.
All right. Excellent. Next one. Two benefits of being an entrepreneur and two disadvantages of being an entrepreneur. Who can try that one?
One of the benefits is that you make your own money and you're partially your own boss. One of the disadvantages would be you're staying up, like you get less sleep. This I can't
All
think of
right.
other one.
All right. Anybody else want to try? Thank you. Anybody want to have some disadvantages or advantages of being an entrepreneur?
Miss, as you look at you determine your own salary and you
That's what
determine your
advantage or disadvantage.
advantage, miss, and you
Uh,
also determine your time um, flexibility, miss.
all right.
Disadvantages is lost, the fact that you can lost, and what else? Miss, the fact that you're just taking a risk and you can lose from the business, or
Okay.
no.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Good try. All right. Okay, good. So we basically something there. So we're going to be moving on. We went through globalization last week, did we? All right. So I think this is where we were at. So we're going to move on. So let's look at this now. Globalization. Globalization is the process of the is a process of interaction and integration among people, companies, and governments of different nations driven by international trade and investment. Right? So the globalization is how is interacting with different places all over the world, government, nations, da da da. That's the globalization. It actually brings us so because of globalization now we seem nearer, right? Everything more companies. So talk about international trade, how we deal with when you're importing and exporting, all those things are globalization. It's actually speaking about. The global economy means that the economies of the country are linked in the marketplace, right? The global economy means that the economies of the country are linked. So everything, so global marketplace has dramatically changed the way business operates. It has made business more competitive and has opened up to new opportunities for companies, including small entrepreneurs. You can be here in Jamaica and be doing business with people in the US, in Canada, all over the world because of how things have changed. So we are be able to be right here and be doing things globally. So that's what it means by the global economy. We are able to do things all over the world. When you even write at your door, right, your home and you're doing business abroad, right? We're able to import, we're able to export. So the exports are the products and services that are produced in one country and sent to another to be sold. So when you're doing your own business and you want it to expand, you can, if it's a goods or even a service, you can offer your service online too because things are online now for persons who are abroad. Ah, put on the freezer. Right? Right? Anything clear? Any question on that? We'll talk about the global economy. Hello? What are some goods or services that are exported from Jamaica? What are some goods or services that are exported? Anybody? What do we export as a
These
country?
services. Mm.
Come
Go ahead,
again?
Sissy. All right, the services, miss. You have the farm work services, miss. You have the hotel industry services like housekeepers, cooks, and so forth. While like
Okay.
the produce, you have banana, we have
Mm-hmm.
yam. Right now we have like mangoes and pears that are exported, miss.
All right, so we have like some of our grown provisions. Are there anything else that we export other from grown provisions?
Um, Bauxite. What are the bauxite, miss?
All right.
Mhm.
All right, so we do export. We do export. Okay, so we do our exports. That means so we do goods and services going out of the country. What about coming in? What about coming in? Imports.
Miss,
What are some?
we import stuff like rice, meat.
Uh,
We also import like provision as in seasoning like tomatoes, onions, garlics. But like the services no. Miss normally
Clothes.
the services miss is normally like within like the ministry like they would use workers from overseas to work like in the international crime unit.
mm-hmm.
We have like the call center. We have persons from overseas who come to work in our call centers.
But you know that they don't necessarily have to come here.
Yes,
They
we know
can
this
work for us
online.
and be right at home and they're in the US or they're right? So
Yes,
they
miss.
can be anywhere in the
Like,
world and work for persons who are in Jamaica.
yeah, because sometimes no, miss. Sometimes as in like the managers and the owners of the businesses and so sometimes they come in person.
Anybody? Thank you very much. Anybody else want to add on that? Things that we import?
Let's talk about clothes.
Yes. Yes. What else? What are some big something, man? Give me some big things, man, about import. We don't make it here.
Miss, we have appliances, miss,
Yes, exactly.
and vehicles.
Exactly. Vehicle, we don't make them, so we have to import them. Good. What about what the vehicle use?
Or the gasoline.
Ah, can we have to import that too? Can we not have oil? Can you name some countries that we import from?
Japan,
Yes.
um,
America.
Europe,
Yes. Any
China, miss, the biggest one.
China? Exactly. Hmm.
Anybody else?
Are there any Caribbean
America,
islands that we import from?
Guyana, miss,
I don't. Maybe but I don't think
with
so.
the rice from Guyana, miss.
Okay. What about which is the biggest one we import from on the Caribbean island? What's the biggest one we import from? Which Caribbean
I
island?
think it's
We,
Trinidad and
we
Tobago, miss.
excellent. Oh, some right. Oh, God. That is exactly right. Trinidad and Tobago, we do get most of our import. That's on the Caribbean island that we get most of a lot of our imports from. Right. But there are some other countries that we didn't mention that we have imported from. We import from Brazil, we import from Canada, we import from even Mexico and Venezuela. So we do, right? So United States is one of our biggest one. I don't hear you. Don't remember anybody saying the United States.
Yes,
Right.
miss, I did.
Yeah, okay. So do you think we do more import than exports?
At this time, Miss, yes.
Can we do more? Can we do more exports? Or what are the things, the goods or services that we think we can export that we are not doing?
Yes, Miss, we can do more, but it is going to take a lot of investment, Miss.
Like
Because
what other things you think we could export? What other goods or services do you think we can export?
all right,
Tell what
thinking.
area read so many time.
Anybody else?
Anybody else want to try? What are some things that you think we could?
Miss, we could export our craft, Miss, because we're very good
Yes,
craft
right.
person.
And we have so many craft markets, but yet we're not marketing the product.
Yes, Miss, and we have very good lumbers, so we could export like furnitures,
Ah, right. So we could do so
tiles,
much.
and
Right.
marble. Yeah, we have the right stones, Miss, so we can export. We can do more like tiles and so forth. But Miss, as I said, that it will take a more person to invest in those stuff that is not the norm. Miss, or
All
we could
right.
also export our herbs because we have a lot of
Yes, we
herbs
do.
in
We
Jamaica.
do. Exactly. And you know that now, one thing that the market is big on now is although you know that our ganja plant is very big overseas.
Yes,
Ganja
Miss,
that we right and we not capitalizing
on
on the
it.
medical aspects of it
Mhm.
as if as much as we can,
That's
right?
true.
Them only want to sit on and smoke it. You see them more and dig up them and more than we use it for medical purposes.
Yeah, I understand.
And right medical purposes and do and make more exports from that aspect. So we can do far better than how we are going on right now. So
That's true, Miss.
all right, so here are some pros and cons of the competing globally. Increased sales, you will attract new buyers and widen your customer base. So these are some of the pros where you may also import unique products that local customers can buy. Right? So that's one of the pros. That's one of the right advantages of competing globally. It reduces cost. Manufacturers in other countries can produce goods less expensive. And that is why we do a lot of imports, It is a lot of the times it is so easier to import something than to buy right here in Jamaica. Why do you think that happens? Why do you think it's that so? Why we can't
Miss, I guess because our stuff it is more expensive because we don't have a wide market for it. So when you have a limited amount, then persons tend to sell it dearer. But because overseas the imported things are more cheaper because they have a lot of it, so they send in a lot so they can sell it at a cheaper price.
all right, thank you, Carla Joe. Can anybody else? Cause I wonder if it's only Carla Joe is in the class. Who else want to come in? Why what are the when it says increase sales and so on. What anybody else want to comment on any other? All right, let us move. Okay. We can reduce costs As well, manufacturers in other countries can produce goods less expensive because of low labor costs or availability of raw materials is crucial too. Because if you don't have the availability of the raw materials here in your country, it is going to be, you would have to import it, and then, in order to do it. So that is one of the biggest reasons why people do globally. It also decreased dependence on current markets and supplies. If economic conditions in USA suddenly worsen, hey, if America sneeze, we catch cold,
Miss, because we yes, miss, because we depend on them too much.
We depend so much on them. It's a trickle effect because of what? We are not able to, we are not doing a lot of what we do on our own. So we do need to find ways now to invest in our own country. We need to invest more in our country, and now so that we can able to put more money in our growth, in our GDP, to make our country better. So we depend too much on other countries so that is why tourism was so hit us so it hit us a lot, because we are so dependent on other countries to survive, right? So look at what happened during when the pandemic hit. Look at the trickle effect that it had on Jamaica, right? What was some of the effects that the pandemic had on our economy when it comes on to tourism? What is some trickle effects? What happened because of the tourism sector shut down? What was some other effects that happened? What was things that happened when it shut down? What other things happened?
Somebody now answer, so may I answer. Job loss,
Hold on.
miss.
Once, yes, there was jobless. One sec, Carla Joe. Regina. Regina.
Hello, Miss. I'm not going to be able to talk much in class today because I'm at work at the moment. So,
Yeah, but let me say cancer nothing at all.
hello?
That means you cannot say anything at all. You're talking now, so just answer one of the questions.
Yeah, that's what I said. Hear much of the question then because I'm at work, so I have to be back and forth.
Oh, I was asking what are some effects that the pandemic had on our economy, starting with the tourism industry. What are some trickle effects that happened when the tourism sector got hit? What are some things that happened because of the tourism sector got shut down? What are other things that happened? We had job loss, but what are the other things that happened? What did the tourism sector link to? What are
It's the
some other
economy,
things?
miss.
Yes, it's
The tour.
yes, but what other industry got hit then? Other from the tourism, because the tourism sector got hit. What were some other sectors that got hit because the tourism sector shut down?
Miss, our farmers supplies, miss.
Right, the farmers, which is our agriculture industry, got a hit as well.
Yeah.
Great.
After that,
What other sector got hit? So agriculture sector got hit. What else?
is gonna
What other
take
sector got
us.
come again? Say it again, please. I didn't get that. Can you repeat?
Miss Finance.
The finance sector.
Miss Finance.
I just want to know, I want you to think. We know that the agriculture got hit. Are there any other things that got hit because of the sector that
Entertainment industry got it because of the
entertainment? Good. The entertainment, one of the
pandemic.
biggest things because of the pandemic, it got hit as well. So that was a strain on the economy, right? And it trickle effect too because remember, right, with the tourism, entertainment, all of those sectors got hit so bad because of what was happening, right? Right, I think we went through this the last class. Some risk of global competition, right? You may not speak the language of other that you are targeting. So you want to do business with China, but you don't speak Chinese. You want to do business with Japan, but you don't speak Japanese. So that can be a risk that you are taking. But but you still want to take the risk. You may not be familiar with the laws and the customs and the cultures of the country that you're doing business with. Right? So that is some of the drawbacks. You may have to change your products to fit the needs of that market. So you might have your product or your service, but because of the culture and the customs, you might have to tweak it to fit their economy or their area, right? And you might have to be traveling to that country to do business in order to probably solidify what you're doing because you want to at the end of the day the aim is to make profit. So if you have to go get up and you have to go this other country in order for you to make the profit, then you're going to get up and go, right? If you want to do business or whatever, but them say, you have to come in, you have to travel overseas in order for us to make an agreement, then you have to do so. So it's probably going to cost you a little bit. So being an entrepreneur can cost you, but in the long run, it will be once you stick it out because it is a risk. Once you stick it out now, it will take you some time. It's not going to take you overnight to make a profit. It takes some time. You might break even, you might have a loss, but at the end of the day, if you really want it, you stick it out. All right. What is demography? Demography is the scientific study and characteristics pertaining to human population. So the size, the growth, the rate. So the demography, how many people live. So the demography is like how many people live into the community. That's the demography. What's the growth rate? Suppose they're talking about in a certain parish. You want to know, in order to start a business, you have to go see what is the demography of that parish. Is that parish have what's the population of the parish? If you're looking for it in that way, what's the population? How many in each household? How many children are in each household? What's the ballpark figure? Is it more than two? Is it more than five? What's the growth rate of that parish? Because when you're starting a business and let's say you want it in a specific, you have to check out all of these things, right? Any question on that? All right, let's move on. Factors which influence entrepreneurship inside and outside of Jamaica. Economic changes. Is this inside or outside of Jamaica? Economic changes. Is this inside or outside of Jamaica?
Both, miss.
All right, good. Yes, it can be both. Yes. Can you give me a reason why it would be, it can be outside? Tell me why
Repeat,
it can be
please.
outside. Why would economic change be factor outside? Why would that be outside? Economic changes be outside, both inside and outside. Give me a reason, especially why it would be outside of Jamaica.
Shortage, miss.
Come again?
Shortage. If there's a shortage
Shortage of
in
what?
the if there's a shortage in the country, that is with the factors which influence entrepreneurship inside Jamaica. Uh, now I'm saying that if the goods or services affected on the outside, miss, then it
Yeah.
they won't export, miss.
All
So
right.
we wouldn't be able to import that specific service or
All
good.
right. So whatever happen outside will affect our economy inside.
Yes, miss.
All right. What is the when we speak about advanced technology, what are we speaking on?
Computer service, mister.
It's not only just computer, you know. Don't look at it just that way. Technology is very broad. The advance in technology, how does that influence um inside and outside of Jamaica?
Advanced technology. Miss development, miss.
Okay. What you mean by what do you mean by development?
Art, miss. For example, when um all right, technology can mean whether electronically or otherwise. So I would look at the fact that whenever a technology is developed or upgraded, then miss.
Mm-hmm.
Then unless we get an upgrade, so even like say for instance the telephone service. I don't know if I'm on the right track, miss. I'm just thinking.
I like the
Um,
way you're thinking, so continue.
the type of machinery that is used, because
Mm-hmm.
we know that we use machinery to produce the products. So if they are upgraded, then you can have a faster line of production in comparison to one that is using the same technology. You can have a lower line of production.
All right. So, all right, just a sec, please. All right. What is can unemployment is unemployment inside or outside of Jamaica? Is that factor influence inside or outside? I need to hear from somebody else. Kenisha, Alicia, Stacy, Carla, Julia, somebody talk to me. Look here, you know, you must know at the end of the day. If you don't participate, how do you expect to understand what we are doing? Is unemployment this factor, unemployment, does it influence entrepreneurship inside or outside of Jamaica?
Miss, hello, Miss.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
I would say it affects inside of Jamaica. Reason being, Miss, I mean,
Mm.
if you want to be an entrepreneur, Miss, if you don't have the money to get the good or the service you want, Miss, you're not going to. There's the people them outside, Miss, that support you. Inside Jamaica, that affects.
All right, I'll take that. What is okay? So how does globalization influence entrepreneurship inside or outside? Hello, you're on the air.
Yes, Miss, both ways, Miss.
Both. All right.
Yes,
What about increased
ways, Miss.
competition? Come again?
All right. All right. If the competition increase, Miss, that means say
So
some of that
increased
like
competition, is this where does this affect influence inside of Jamaica or outside? Or is it both?
all right. Yes, Miss. But the competition increase, Miss. Because ma, that gonna be a hard run.
You're chipping
That
in
be
and
a
out.
hard um my phone, Miss. You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's a problem.
All right.
Hello, Miss?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Miss. Mm, come on, Miss. Remember, we are a smaller country.
All right.
Thing different. Catch.
You're chipping in and out, Stacy. I'm so sorry. I'm not catching everything that you're saying. I think you can type in the chat.
chat. Miss, I don't know where the chat is. Where this chat? Where I find it?
It's right beside the participants, that little circle. It's a conversation.
I was looking for it, but
Not seeing it? Look if you see I write something. You see something type?
yes.
Right, that section, that's where you can type.
So
I would love if other persons participate in the class.
I was saying no, but because of my speak of and
I'm not talking
I'm
about you,
can't find
Stacy.
the thing.
I'm not talking you, Stacy, because you are participating. I'm just talking about the others. Them not even answering me when I'm calling them name. But it's not Miss Coley I'm hurting. Me teaching my class anyway. All right. The impact of entrepreneurship. Here are some impacts. Job creation, increased taxes, innovation example. So entrepreneurship allows for new technology development, right? Them innovate things, they're solving issues, they're doing, right? Increase in gross domestic product. And the gross domestic product is the total value of goods and services produced in a country at a given period. So the GDP is increased because of entrepreneurship. So it brings a part of it. It's foreign exchange. So what you're the type of depend on your type of business, foreign exchange can be a part of it because you're what you are whatever. If you are doing business with persons who are abroad, that means that you can able to benefit. You can able to foreign exchange. So you're probably earning some foreign exchange, some money, some foreign exchange from the type of business that you're doing. So you're trading it, right? Import substitution. So you're able to use more local products as well. As an entrepreneur, you can use some of your the product that we have here. So there's such a good impact when you're an entrepreneur. So you're developing, improving the low our economy. Alright. Now here are some difference between an entrepreneurial venture and traditional employment. Alright. For the entrepreneurial person, you control your own destiny. You have the opportunity to contribute to the society. You get all the profits. It's your own business. You're able to be flexible, but you suffer the loss if the business fails. That's the entrepreneurial venture. For the traditional employment now, you have your weekly salary or your monthly salary. You get allowances. You get probably life insurance, grants, and you don't suffer any loss at all because the company is the one suffering the loss, not necessarily you, because you're working for them. Right. Sorry about that, everybody. So you notice the difference between the um the entrepreneur and if you're and the person who is working for somebody else. All right. Which one to you would which one you think would be better? Entrepreneurial venture or traditional employment? For you, looking at it, which one you think it is better for you? Who would say you prefer traditional employment other from being an entrepreneur? Anyone?
Excuse me, Miss Collarburn, I don't quite understand what you're saying. Could you
All
please?
right. You see the difference? Are you seeing the screen? When we talk about the difference between an entrepreneurial venture, we said these persons they get all the profit, they own a business, they own their own business, they're able to be flexible. And for traditional employment now, you have to get a monthly salary. These are the difference between it, you know. You get allowances, you get life insurance, education grants. I'm asking, which one you think would suit you? Would it be the traditional employment or the entrepreneurial venture? Would you prefer what is happening over this side or over under
Miss
the traditional employment?
Miss
Go
looking
ahead.
at the chart, Miss looking at the chart, I would prefer the traditional employment, but there are do's and don'ts. It depends on the business that the entrepreneur owns, because if the business that the entrepreneur is doing is gaining enough revenue, miss, then you will be able to cover all these costs that the tradition is offering and more.
All right. So for right now, you would be more on the traditional employment part.
Yeah, just looking at it. Yeah.
Just looking at it.
Hmm.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else? Kelly? All right. So we have covered element one. There are four elements, and we have covered element one. And now we're going into element two at this time. Element two now speaks to now the entrepreneurial characteristics. So there's a difference between the entrepreneurial concepts and now we're talking about the characteristics. So there are some characteristics of an entrepreneur then that should have our entrepreneurial characteristics. We know that an entrepreneur are risk takers, right? Yes, no, hello.
Yes, Miss.
All right, so
Miss,
the entrepreneurs are risk takers. An entrepreneur should be self-confident. That true?
yes, miss.
Why would we say an entrepreneur should be self-confident or have self-confidence? Why would want them to be self-confident?
Miss, because if you're going to be a person that is taking risks with your money, miss, then you need to be confident in what you're doing. You need to ensure that you believe in what you're doing and that you do it to the
Ah,
best of your ability.
excellent. You must believe in what you're doing, say, because if you're not confident in what you're doing, you're not going to be able to tell nobody nothing. You're not going to be able to make them want to come to and to be a part of your business. So you have to be confident. You have to have some self-confidence. An entrepreneur also must be creative and able to solve problems. Because remember, now as an entrepreneur, you are actually solving a problem that is there. You see a need, and yet now you are going to now solve that need that is there. So you're a problem solver. So as entrepreneurs are problem solvers, and they are creative in what they're doing. They are so creative, right? So you're creative and you're solving the different depends on what yours, right? So you see something, you see a little thing that's, oh, but maybe I can. If persons come up with things like a pen with a rubber, right? That means they saw that before there was no pen with no rubber. So they'll think of that no, and them say, okay, them solving that problem. Them solving that they're creative, can them develop the pen with a rubber because you don't normally see pen with rubber. They've never see the pen with a rubber and them say, but boy, I would want to be able to erase what I write. So they make pen with rubber. Right? So them kind of that little market now say, oh, pens can make with rubber. Right? So them creative and them solving an issue. Another characteristic is where the entrepreneur is persistent. What it means to be persistent? What do you mean by persistence?
Never to
When we say
stop me.
persistent, come again?
You
Say it again?
A person that is persistent means never stop at doing what they are doing means they're persistent at it means. But even the try
Exactly. They're going and pushing, them persistent, them not stopping because they want to succeed. A person as an entrepreneur characteristics, they have demand quality and if anything, and it must be efficient. What it mean by that? Demand for quality and efficiency. Why would that be one of the characteristics of an entrepreneur?
Because miss, based on the quality of your product, miss, you'll keep your customers, miss. And the efficiency, miss, you have to ensure that you are on time, that you know you're accurate in what you're doing. So that miss helps, and it helps to upgrade your business then, miss, or
Right.
keep your business at a certain
Exactly.
quality.
Exactly. Exactly. You must have quality. You can't sell subpar things. And the spion you go there now and say, oh, may I have this, and you not have it up to a certain standard. So you have to keep that quality. And you must, right? And you must be efficient in what you're doing. Another characteristic is that now the an entrepreneur must set goals for themselves. They have goal setting, they're setting goals. So as an entrepreneur, what do you think is what are some of the goals you think an entrepreneur will set for themselves?
first they would think of
Huh?
start. Start them can and the main goal. Start from a scratch first, but the main goal how far that business can go. And the amount
Uh,
and the customer also the more
uh,
amount of the more maximum amount of customer also.
all right. So them setting them little goals, them want more people, them want more customers, exactly. What do you think now this mean? Systematic planning. That's a big word. But what do you think it mean by systematic planning?
Taking steps in how in solving ways that the business will go or overthinking or thinking four different ways in which you can solve a problem?
Um, uh, a little, but not this. Not not fully.
All right. For me, miss, what I'm thinking about is that that when you plan things, miss, like you have to check, like the things where we still have to check the system, check the market, check what's going on, put it out there. Miss, the things that the people will grab.
All right. So, okay. So, in anything that you do, you must plan. You know, say in the planning process, you're planning out how many persons you want in, you probably want into the business. Suppose you're hiring, you say, okay, I'm going to be only hiring 2 persons. So you have to plan for that. You have to do your budget. That's a part of your planning process, right? You have to know where you're going to do the business. So all of them little thing there is planning. So you have to put pen to paper. When you're planning, you don't plan in your head and say, boy, that me the plan for do you know? No. You have to put it on paper and put your planning process on paper and say, these are the things that I'm going to be doing and plan accordingly to make sure that you are, so you would tick off and say, so these are the things that I am planning and it's what I want to accomplish.
Miss, and
So
you have
part of
to,
the planning tool,
Miss, and
come
you have
again?
to ensure, Miss, that you stick to the plan and work according to.
Exactly. So that's where the right. So if you're not planning, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So you must plan what you are doing. A characteristics also of an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is persuasive and they do also networking. What is networking? What is networking? What is
Advertising.
networking?
Miss connection, Miss. Being
Connect.
connected to other persons that are in the field and
Ah,
persons that will be able to help you to push your business further, Miss.
excellent. You're networking and meeting up with other people in the same type of business. Good. So you're able to see, these are, so we can check this company because they do this, and it's able to expand. Excellent. Right? What do you mean by the persuasion? You must be persuasive. Why would an entrepreneur have to be persuasive?
It's in order to get the
Well,
buyer stuff, miss. Yeah,
In order to
be
convince
persuasive,
customer
miss.
to buy goods, miss?
but it's a part of convincing the person to be a part of your business or your service. I remember, say, of your, right, if you're going to be, if it's a service you're offering, you're persuading them. So you're in housekeeping and you probably say, I want to do a thing called cleaning on the go or something like that, or clean and go, whatever it is. So you have this thing, but you want to persuade people to be a part, want to be,
Yeah,
a
Miss.
part of this business. So you must be able to persuade. Yes, go ahead.
I was just looking, Miss, that you have to be able to convince people to buy into your idea. You know,
Ah, that's a
that part.
persuasion. Yes. You must be able to convince them. What does it mean, though, for what did it say? Commitment to contract. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by commitment to contract?
Miss, commitments means to stick to. So you can't break. contracts that you have signed for any reason, miss. So if you
Ah,
sign a contract, you need to stick to it and you need to keep up your
right.
end of the bargain.
Exactly. And what happens if that the so you sign a contract with somebody that you're going to be able to export 500 whatever goods you're going to have. And then no, you decide to not do it again. What can happen if you break that contract?
Miss, it can mess up your market, miss, and your net worth, it, miss, because if you break that contract, then they're going to spread it around that you're not somebody who is good to you. You're not a person of your word, so nobody is going to
Hmm.
want to get into business with people who is going to break their contract in the middle of their contract. So you have to be able to
To keep your
keep your
commitment.
word,
But you
miss.
know that they are if it's a contract that you sign, they can sue you for breaking that contract. So it might cost you in the long run for not committing to the contract that you have signed, right? And you don't expect that no to con that so you must not be able to break the contract. You must be able to now see opportunities, identify opportunities. What do you mean by identify opportunities?
All right, miss, your eyes must be open to the demand of the people. So if it is that you are in an area where it requires a specific product or service and you don't have it, miss, it's good to invest in it, because if you have the customers already or you have the potential buyers are, so already, then that would be an opportunity for you to invest
Uh,
in that product or
ah,
service.
exactly. You see it. You see something that might able to grow your business, and you go after that opportunity. Excellent. All right. So we spoke about this. I forgot. I'm not going through every single thing. You guys have to do some reading on your own. I'm going to be sending you this later. I didn't want to send it until I've gone through it, so I'm going to send you this later after we finish this today. Oh. What do you think the difference is between risk and uncertainty? What do you think the difference is between risk and uncertainty? What it means to what do you think the difference is? Who you think can who can tell me what they think the difference between risk and uncertainty? What it means to be uncertain and what it means for be uncertainty and what it means for be, what is the difference between the both?
Miss Riss is taking a chance,
And what is uncertainty?
not sure of something.
You're
Miss,
not sure.
uncertainty is doubt, miss.
Uncertainty is doubt.
Yes, miss.
And what is risk?
Um, wait, yeah, miss. Risk is being willing to try whether
Uh,
there's a possibility of winning or gaining. So you're willing to try. Risk is trying.
all right, and then the uncertainty now is
It's having
your
doubt, so you don't bother trying none at all. You're not
um
certain about you're not certain of what the result will be.
okay, all right. So one is that you know the risk that you're taking and you know what might be the outcome. That
Mm-hmm.
is the risk. The uncertainty now you have no idea.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
don't have any control over that.
Mm.
You don't know, right? So
Yeah.
you're not sure of the outcome. So you're uncertain of the outcome. So that's the difference between the risk and the uncertainty. The risk, you take the chance, and you know what might be the outcome. But uncertainty, you really have no idea what the outcome is. The outcome is unknown, right? So that's really the difference. Thank you.
Yes, miss.
We spoke about self-confidence. I'm not going into that. We spoke about all of those. How important is to observe quality and efficiency to the success of an entrepreneur? How important is the observance of quality and efficiency to the success of an entrepreneur? Who can answer that? These are some questions can come into the test, Okay, can we go and get a test? I'm going to send you your the group assignment later. I want to know if you will finalize the groups as well. But moving on, before we go into that, how important is it to observe? Is the observance of quality and efficiency to the success
This
of entrepreneur?
makes it
Yeah.
enhance your business and it also keeps your customer. So it is because it is very important for you to keep up to your quality, miss, to keep your customers, miss.
What is quality? What do you mean by the quality? What do you say? Quality of what?
Quality is the best, miss. It's giving your best service and making your best product. Make it at its
Ah,
highest
great.
point.
Highest standard. Excellent. So you must with it. All right. Some of these things you guys don't have to go read. I'm not going to go through everything. We spoke about being goal directed already. All right. So here are some of the things now. Skills. These are some skills now that an entrepreneur must have. You must have communication skills. You must have human relation skills. You must have some math skills, because when you have the math skills, because remember you're gonna deal with money, and you have a budget and all of that. So you have to have these are all of the skills that an entrepreneur must have. Problem solving skills, technical skills, basic business skills. So you see how much skills an entrepreneur must have? You seeing that? You're seeing all of these skills that you must have as an entrepreneur,
Yes, miss.
right? So if you think all of these skills you're born with, or do you think you can learn these skills?
Miss, all of them can be learned. You're not born with them all, miss.
All right, so you can learn them. Good, because right, and over time you can own these skills at the end of the day. Good. All right, so we spoke about these already, being persistent and all of that. We're going through all of that already. You would have to read a little bit on your own once I send the information. We spoke about commitment to contract. We spoke about all of that. Right, so that's it for element 1 and 2. So we have 2 more elements to go through. So let me just I'm going to send you this later. All right, so that's basically it for element 1 and 2. I am going to show you now. Tell me if you're seeing the screen, please. Your project that you're going to be doing are you seeing the screen?
Yes, miss.
All
Okay.
right. All right. So you already have your groups. Can I get the finalization of the two groups, please? Can somebody email me that later? Who take charge of that? I did put in your groups, but persons were saying some person not there, da 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 da. So I just need persons to just give me who are in the two groups, please. Who can send me that information? Hello? All right, me will pick then. Carla Joe.
Miss not me, Miss.
Who did not
Um,
answer?
what's his name?
Stacy.
Romaine and Carla was looking at the groups, Miss. So
I need the finalization because I did put in the groups, but persons were saying something. So I need the final group by the end of today. So please tell Romain for me to send me that information by the end of today. All right. I don't see him online. It looked like he went off. All right. So all right. So here is what the assignment will look like. You are going to be doing a business plan. It's a business plan, and this is what it includes. The summary. So I'm going to be sending you an example of what the business plan should look like, and you're going to develop. So first of all, you're going to decide now what type of business you're going to be doing, because the same business that you're going to be writing about in the plan is the same business you're going to be executing. That means you're going to have a booth and so on. And we are looking at the week between the 8th to the 12th, that week to do our execution of the business. Because that's Global Entrepreneurship Week, and therefore we will be doing it within that week. I'll give you the final date for that soon. So that's the date we're looking for the execution of the business, the week of the 8th of November. Right? Clear?
Repeat that, miss.
We are
I'm not
going to be
hearing you so
doing,
clearly.
we are doing, remember we are putting in groups, and you're going to be doing a business plan in a group, and then also you're going to have to be executing the business. And the execution of the business aspect of it, which is a practical component, will be the week of the 8th of November. In that week, between the 8th to the 12th of November, that's the week we're looking at for the execution of the business. Right? For the business plan itself, from the business plan itself is going to be, what date are we now? We are in the 11th. So it is going to be due the first week by the 2nd of November. The business plan itself will be due by the 2nd of November. That's November 2nd will be the business plan will be done. I will send you that information a little bit later. So what I send you is the assignment itself, and also the business, I will send you an example of the business plan as well. Right? So the business plan should have a summary of the business description. You must describe the business, and you must come next week with and telling me now each group is going to tell, I need the names of each group in each group, and also I am going to want to know by next week what is the type of business each group is going to be doing, so we can move from there. Right? Clear? Any question on that? Hello?
No, miss. No question.
I'm going to have, we are going to be working together with all of this, but I'm going to need the finalization of the group members by this evening. You must think of the type of business. Anybody have any idea? Because remember, we were speaking about it, of what type of business your group thinking of, or you can come up with. Because you have to do the plan and then execute the plan. Put out it's go big or go home. Right? So you need to start thinking of what type of business or goods and or service. So it can be a service that you're putting out there, and it can be your, right? And it can be, I remember one group, when I had a group, same housekeeping, a group did everything coconut. That was their thing. So them do coconut oil, right? So they make it from scratch, you know. They went ahead and make it from scratch. They do coconut oils. They do coconut drops. So them do make everything out of the coconut. And then they did them execution of them business and so on. Another group did a tie and dye. So they went and do tie and dye. Them going on them tie and dye shirts, and then they sold them. Right? So those are a couple ideas. That is a couple of the things that past groups did, and they were from housekeeping. So you can think outside of the box from now. I'm going to need that information. And you're going to think of a name for the business. So your group will think of a name and a slogan for your business. Right? What will be the name of my business? Or what slogan? You know, anybody know what the slogan is? Alicia, what is that slogan? Who can tell me what a slogan is if you ask for a slogan for your business? Go ahead.
It's like a tagline that you're gonna give the business, miss.
Right. Is that Burger King? What is Burger King tagline? What is Burger King tagline? What Burger
Miss
King
K,
says?
Miss KFC, nobody does it better.
Or KFC said nobody does it better. Good. So your business name must have a tagline. Right? So you must have a name of the business. So next week, I'm going to want from the two groups the name of the business that you're coming up with and the tagline for the business. That is what I want from the two groups for next week. The name of the business and the tagline for the business. I want that for next week, class. Right, so we can start the ball rolling. So that takes care of the two. You're going to get a test as well. I'll soon give you the date for that test. And also, you're going to be doing an individual presentation about yourself. Right? So with this, right, it's an individual presentation about you. So we only have two. So the project will be group, and the execution of a business group. However, the other two assignments, the test will be individual, and also you're going to be doing a collage of yourself, no more than 5 minutes, and you're going to be let me know about you. You're going to choose pictures that represent you as an individual. So what you so is before, like when you were, the pictures represent when you were younger, pictures that represent you now, and pictures that represent you in the future, and then you're going to explain it why you choose those pictures that represent you. So you're going to choose, you don't have to be a picture of yourself, it can be different pictures. Suppose you choose like I had a food and beverage group. Some of them choose that they're right. So it's more about yourself. So I will give you more details about that. I will send that information about that assignment later as well. So it is going to be, and I will give you that date for that assignment as well. Write down this date is the 29th of October. 29th of October will be that one, that individual one. It's an individual, you're going to video yourself doing it and then you're going to send it to me. No more than 5 minutes. So I send you that details as well later as well. So that takes care of the assignments. What are the dates we stated? So it is the 29th.
And the 2nd November.
So the 29th for the individual oral presentation. The 2nd of November for the project. The week of the 8th. Of November for the big presentation. And for the test, for the test, I put it to the 16th of November. So those are the dates we're working with. So November, the 29th for the oral presentation, the 2nd for the project, the week of the 8th of November for that big presentation, and you're going to put out your booth and everything, and then the 16th for the final test. So those are the dates we're working with. All right, and I would email you those dates as well. So those are the dates we are working with. So it's full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. All right. So what is it that we're going to be working on for next week? What is it, we're going to go for next week? The group. Each group going to come with what?
Miss the name of the business and the tagline.
The name of the business and the tagline, and that is for both groups. But I need the name of the both groups because, right? I need the names and so on. The name of the business and the tagline. Okay, and one other thing, what type of business? I want to know what type of business. So the name, what type of business, and the tagline. So that is for next week class. We're going to discuss that in our next class. Any questions? Any questions, anybody?
Oh, miss.
What I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be sending you some questions that you probably can, try and answer as well, which we're going to go through. So let me just tell you what we're going to be. So we have a number of things to cover. We're going to be staying on a little bit longer for the next.
Ah, I thought like, yeah.
I'm going to also send you the learner guide for the entrepreneur. I'm going to be sending you a lot of things for entrepreneur. So we do not want, and look here, food and beverage and you are going to be doing that execution of business around the same time. So no have to go big, try, right? No have to go big. Right? We don't want to I'm sure you don't want them to outdo you, don't it? But go big or go home. So I'm going to be sending you all of that. Are there any questions, please? Anything that you're not clear on?
No, miss, everything is clear so far.
Entrepreneurship can be fun, you know. And we're going to be doing much more activities in our next class. Much more activities in our next class. Be prepared that we're going to be on a little bit longer in our next class. I want to give you some. Let me share my screen a little. That's just a sec. I want to share my screen. I want to go through something. We're not finished yet. Let me share my screen again and see if we can answer some little questions. Are you seeing the screen?
No, miss.
Seen it as yet?
For me, yes.
All right. Here are some couple questions. Let us go to a few questions. An advantage of wage employment over entrepreneur employment. Is it A, opportunity to have control over one's destiny? Is it B, opportunity to obtain secure monthly income? Is it C, opportunity for self-actualization? Or is it all of the above? Advantage of wage employment over entrepreneurial employment. Which one is it? What will be the advantage of wage employment over entrepreneurial employment? Is it A, B, C, or D?
Repeat A for me, please. A. Repeat A for me.
Opportunity to have control over one's destiny.
B, miss. Well,
Anybody agree with one that says B?
B, miss.
Opportunity to obtain and secure monthly income. Because it is talk about the wage
A, miss.
employment. Huh?
A, miss. A.
Just A.
No,
Listen to the
Miss A would
question.
have to do with Miss A would have to do with the entrepreneur. C have to do
Right.
with the entrepreneur. So
Right.
the answer would be B, Miss.
The answer is B. Because this is talking about wage employment. Remember that entrepreneurial employment, you don't get a weekly or monthly salary income. That have to do with wage employment. Entrepreneurs, your income is not you don't have a regular salary, right? Remember that. Let us look at the other one. Factors which influence entrepreneurship. Is it A, market mix? B, globalization and increased competition? C, gross domestic product? Or D, all of the above? Factors which influence entrepreneurship.
All the above, Miss.
All the above, miss. And you have to have marketing, or the marketing stay if it's up, down.
Hmm. Was market mix a part of the factor that influence entrepreneurship? What is
Globali-
market mix? Come on.
Globalization, miss. Is is it globalization
It
and
is
in
globalization.
yes, miss.
Gross domestic product does not influence it. Globalization is an advantage of being an entrepreneur. You're able to contribute to the gross domestic product. Remember?
Yes, miss.
All right.
Yes,
We won't go
Miss.
through this question. All right. I'm not going through this one yet. Some of the questions then we don't reach to there yet. I'm just going through some of the questions that we have already spoke about. All right, what are two types of advertising? Is it goods and two types of advertising? Is it goods and service, broadcast and print, magazines and flyers, cars and buses?
B, miss.
It's what?
B.
Anybody else say that?
two
Number
types
4,
of
Miss.
advertising, not two ways to advertise. Miss, goods and service, two types, two things that you're
Goods and
advertising.
service would
Goods
have
and
been
service. Eh,
Come on. Goes
A
two types of advertising.
for advertise the business, Miss, or the goods.
Yes.
So
Two
that be
types of advertising. It will be here. Broadcast and
broadcast
print.
or print, Miss.
Yes, that will be it.
but Miss, you could
Because
also do it
magazine and
magazine
flyers.
and flyers.
Yeah, but magazine and flyer are just an examples of print advertising. They are not different. They are not different types. You understand?
Okay.
Broadcast is like TV, radio, and print. Now come like the magazine and the flyer. So the print now are examples of a type. So it come under print. That's why I would write
Oh,
that.
Miss, because I was looking at two ways of advertising and two types. That's why
Right.
I said
It's
food and
type it
services.
asks for, so it's very tricky. Yes. Why would we advertise business? Business advertise because they want to A, increase sales and their product or service. B, communicate a change in their existing product line. C, introduce a new product or service. Or D, all of the above.
D, Miss.
Which one?
Agree, Miss.
D as in
D.
dog? D as in dog.
Okay.
All right, so it is D. Yes, you are correct. All of these are reasons why you will advertise. I won't go through that one yet. True or false? Goal setting is not a personal entrepreneurial characteristic. Is that true or false? Goal setting is not a personal entrepreneurial characteristic. Is that true or false?
False,
I would
Miss.
say false, Miss.
Right, because it is what? It is a characteristic. You must be able to be a goal setter. We benefit from planning because it A, helps to define the culture of the business. B, allows for focus on the desired goals. C, ensures that resources are properly combined to achieve the expected goals. Or D, all of the above.
C for me, Miss.
All right,
Ensure
you
that
says
resources are properly combined to achieve the
all
expected.
right. Anybody else? Anybody else say anything different?
I'll say all the above, Miss. Benefits from planning.
I would say all of the above too, because all of this you have to do when you're planning. You want to know what the different, what is that, what type of business you have, the culture, the organization. You want to know what are the goals. All this now you're planning, and you want to ensure all of this is properly combined to achieve your goals. So it is all of the above. All right, so question 11. Creative persons are they usually dependent, observant, introverted, curious, or a creative person is open to new experiences, dependent, observant, curious? Is a creative person observant, narrow-minded, curious, dependent, or is a creative person curious, observant, independent, open to new experiences. So is it A, B, C, or D?
D, Miss.
D as in dog?
A.
Yes,
A
Miss.
for me, Miss.
You are okay. So you okay. So who say A?
Me, Miss Stacy.
So all right. So Stacy, look at it now. You are saying that a person who is creative must be dependent. When you're dependent, you are, that
It
means that you have to
depends.
depend on others, right? You're
Oh,
introverted, that means that you don't really speak out,
Can't be locked with yourself.
right? You're lucky, you know. So I think that is
yes,
really the
well,
right one. Look at it again. Look at what best describes somebody who's creative.
D, Miss.
Could have been D. They are curious, they are observant, they're independent, and they're open to new experiences. So all of that have to do with a creative person. All right, so I will stop with those for today. All right, we're going to go through. So after each class, we're going to go through some questions and everything. Right? So we're going to continue in that direction. All right? All right, everybody. I think that we are good for today. And I do thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. Right? And thanks to those who come. Thanks for the persons who are participating. And we will meet back here next week. Can we please come online early? We are using the same link that I sent every week. I want to meet by 8:30, the latest. Can we make an effort to do so, God's willing, for next week? Please. Can that promise be made that we can start on time for next week, everybody? Hello?
Yes, Miss.
Let us work for that effort so we can able to do what we have to do. All right, so everybody, please remember now there are things that you're going to be doing for me for next week. You must tell me the name of your business, the group. You must also the tagline and what type of business that you're going to be doing. So that's what we're going to be discussing first before we get into the nitty-gritty of the class next week. Good? Clear?
Okay, Miss.
And I want the names of the persons in the groups, please, because, right? So we can know who are in the group so we can move forward. All right, everybody?
Miss
So
teacher.
do have a good rest of the day. If you have any questions or any queries, if you come here and you want to speak to me about it, not a problem, or you can always email me. All right?
Yes,
All right,
Miss.
everybody. So have a good rest of the day, and we will pick up in our next class. All right?
Thank you, Miss, and the same to
So do
you.
take care. It was a good class in spite of the challenges. I think we did cover a good amount of things, and we had some good discussion for those of persons who are participating, and I'm praying that everybody does participate going forward. This is it's a nice little course, and I think it is very important and that persons be a part of the full experience. Okay, everybody. So have a good day and be safe